everybody? I'm Jason, this is Colt, and that's Jace, and this is Tennessee Mountain Homestead. Today, we're going to see if we can get this old pit bike that we found at the scrapyard fired up. A few days ago, we went up to the scrapyard to sell some scrap and whatever else, and the kids like to get out and run and look at all the cool stuff they have around there. They've got a few acres full of just old junk that you can pick through. It's pretty cool. So Colt fell in love with this little pit bike, and he loved it so much that he actually spent his money that he earned a few months ago in Illinois. He earned some money clearing some brush for somebody, and he had some other money from Christmas and birthdays. But actually, anyways, he gave his money and he bought this thing. So we got it back here to the shop and we started looking at it, going through it. And it's actually a pretty nice little bike. It's got everything a full-size dirt bike would have. It's got gears, a transmission, the chain's not in too bad a shape. It's got front and rear brakes. It's got front and rear suspension. But there are a few glaring things that we're going to make it not run. So it looks like some kid or somebody had this for a long time and just did everything they could to keep it running. Like, this was the carburetor that was on it. It's a little slide carburetor, and the bowl was literally just broken off, and it looks like they used JB Weld to keep it back on there. And the other thing was the twist throttle was completely busted off. It used to be on there. Colt already took that off with a power drill the other day.
That's it.
You got it?
Yeah. Now what would we take this piece out? The water is not to it. But I don't know if we can actually do that. We did that with the so-so.
That's the cable that goes to the carburetor.
Yeah.
But the twist throttle's gone. Other than that, the oil in it looks good. It seems to have compression. The piston goes up and down when you kick on the Kickstarter. And we haven't tested this for spark yet, but we're going to go ahead and do that next. All right, guys, so we got into it, and we found out that it in fact does have spark. But before we even found out it had spark, we couldn't turn the engine over because the piston was stuck in the cylinder. And we sprayed a bunch of WD-40 down the spark plug hole, and we had to actually take apart the valve train just to see, because we thought the valves were stuck. None of this stuff was turning. But we ended up putting a wrench on the clutch here on the crankshaft, and we were able to work it back and forth. It didn't take a whole lot, but we worked it back and forth. And now the piston goes up and down freely. We see both valves moving. We can see in the spark plug hole. I can look in the chamber, in the combustion chamber, and I can see things moving. So we have spark. We have it moving. We're going to go ahead and put it back together and see if we can kick it over and see if it won't give us some signs of life. All right, so now that we know the engine's free and we have spark, we took off all these caps on the top of the cylinder head here, and it all had gaskets, but obviously we don't have the gaskets to put back. So what we're going to do is use some Ultra Blue. That's all I got. But these things, I don't think there's any kind of serious pressure or anything going on here. So we're going to go ahead and RTV these things back on, put them back on finger tight, and then we're going to let them cure for the hour it takes to cure. We'll torque everything back down. All right, Colt. So the carburetor that was on this thing, like we talked about in the beginning, was busted. So I ended up getting, I think I paid $12 for this, or $14 on Amazon. It's the exact same thing as it was what came off of it. And so now we're going to get ready. If you would help me here, Cole, would you hold the carburetor like these? And we're going to spin the bolts in from the back. All right, the carburetor's bolted on, and I do have to say one small thing is that it came with these stock these stock gaskets, but neither one of them worked. They didn't even line up with the carburetor itself. So I had some gasket material in stock, and I just went ahead and cut a gasket in the same shape. So that's done. The carburetor's tight. Next, Colt's going to put the new hand grip on this side because it came in a dual kit. Here, push it on here, buddy, right here.
It's actually really hard.
It is hard. So we got to take apart this handle. This is for the throttle handle, and the kit comes with a cable. So we got to take this apart to put the ferrule in and put it together. Good job, buddy. The other way. All right, we got the handle back together with the cable, the whole kit. We're getting ready to install it on the bike. But Colt's going to go ahead and tighten down the screws all the way. Yeah, nice and tight. Get the other one now. Right there. Other way. He's got good hand control with his fingers on that screwdriver. He's a natural. So we had this thing fully assembled on the bike. We had this end assembled into the slide carburetor. We had the handle assembled. But in true Amazon Chinese fashion, stuff don't work together. So I need to cut about 5/8 of an inch off the cable housing because it wouldn't let the slide go all the way down into the carburetor. So thankfully, I happen to have a bag of these cable ferrules to replace this one because it's already been crimped on. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and take this little hacksaw. And I'm going to gently cut around the housing, remove the cable, and then hopefully it'll work after that. So cutting off a bit of this cable housing isn't going to be so simple because the housing is harder than a hacksaw blade. I try to do it gently. And also, even if I cut around it, the ferrule's not going to fit out of the cable housing. So what I'm going to do is take a Dremel tool. I'm going to cut long ways along the casing so I can split it. Probably have to turn it over 180 degrees and cut it long ways on two sides. Then cut around it gently so I can get that much of the jacket off. Alright guys, quick update. It's been a couple hours. We got all the bolts torqued back down. The gasket maker has all set. The cylinder head's bolted back up tight. We got the carburetor on. We got the throttle working. Like I said, that was a pain. We had to cut off 5/8 of an inch from the cable housing. But we were able to do that. We got it set. We got a new fuel filter. We just got done blowing up the fuel line. And everything's bolted back up. So the next thing we're going to do is put some gas in the tank. Alright, we got gas in it. I saw it go in the fuel filter. I got the choke on. This is the first time I'm going to try to kickstart it. So I got tired of trying to kickstart it, and we're going to try the power drill. You ready, Stefan?
Sure.
So Colt's a little nervous to try it. It is a little bit big for him, but Stefan's going to take him for a ride. For today's video. I honestly didn't think that this thing was going to run, but not only does it runs fantastic. Well, just in the driveway, as soon as I took off in first gear, I hit second and it pulled a little wheelie. So super impressed with this thing. All it took was a carburetor and a little bit of freeing up with the piston. It still needs a little bit of more TLC. It needs both brakes, front and back, barely work if at all, and also the foot pegs. Someone's got them on there with baling wire, so we're gonna have to look into that and see if we have to weld that. But anyways, other than that, it's a runner. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, my name's Jason. This is Colt. This is Jace. This is also Tennessee Mountain Homestead, and we'll see you on the next one.